Good morning. My name is Lawrence, and I'm trying to do something different. This is going to be called Things Daddy Never Taught Me. Obviously, I'm a black male, so I'm most likely going to be speaking to you from the black male plight. Now, I don't mind if males, females, or whatever you want to call yourself, watch this. Respond. I'll leave the comments open because this will be a dialogue if you were here. I want to basically just get some points across to people, which most likely are the target audience. Black men that did not have their dads in their lives, black men that had dads in their lives for only a moment of time, black men that had their dads in their lives, but look, they were just trying to figure it out themselves, so they definitely didn't have the time or maybe even this nurturing fatherly spirit to exercise wisdom and instill it into their children. So much like myself, the world taught me a lot of things. And again, there's no racism here, so even if you're not black, and this applies to you, because I know there's a lot of white, Hispanic, I know the Chinese and Hispanic culture, y'all a tight-knit bunch, but that doesn't mean, people didn't lose their dads early. So anyone, feel free to watch this. This is not for money. I'm not asking for any money. There's no Patreons. Right now, this is not even monetized. As you can see, this is 100% outside. I love nature. Right now, we are October 13th. It's a Sunday. I felt inspired. Haven't ate anything yet. I feel like being outside is the closest you can get to God. He can touch me with the wind, the sun whenever he feels like it, the temperature whenever he feels like it. So I want this to be uncontrolled. I don't want to dress up. I don't want this to be regular church. I don't knock regular church. I have my own history, but to limit your bias on who I am and just to really, really look at the message and take the message, and discard what doesn't apply to you and apply what does apply to you. That is my goal. So let's get right into it. I don't know how often I'll do this. A quick preface is I'm currently going through something most people would call a tragedy or a crisis, right? But I thank God that all of my friends, family, and loved ones, they are still alive. This is something I have to bear on my own, and this is probably going to be a recurring topic, one that is difficult for me, but one that I so believe in for men, and that word is accountability, and I feel like that word can get you a long way, with respect, with moving forward through life. We're gonna talk spirituality, we might talk dating, we might talk finances, but I'm a high level type of person. I like to give examples of my life, and I always enjoy when speakers and pastors were transparent. It draws me in. I'm not sure what type of information you like to consume, but I plan to be very transparent. If you're a person that likes to lie to yourself, you're probably not gonna like this. If you're a person that just seeks the truth, 2 + 2 = 4 is one of my favorite sayings. I want to keep it simple, direct, and Jesus talked in parables, so I feel like if there's a story to give, I plan on giving that. And also, if there is something that I can even gain from it, I'll watch this back and get it as well. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I got a couple talking points, but I tend to talk in true statements, and that's what the 2 + 2 = 4 really means. And let's learn together. How about that? Things Daddy Never Taught Me, episode 1. Like I said, my name is Lawrence. R.I.P. to my dad up in heaven, right? We didn't have the closest relationship. I did go see him in the summers, on Christmas. I played basketball. He was a basketball coach. He was a teacher. He made a basketball court outside of his house for those summers and Christmases where I can just shoot around all summer. It's probably my jump shot is so good, you know. I did that. Was never taught, you know, just all of that by him, right? And he was basically, he was elementary school teacher, PE teacher, right? So all the badminton, the four square, the ping pong, the checkers, the four square, like all of that, right? Connect Four, I was taught all that, and that's probably why I had this competitive spirit. And like in real time, I'm telling you this, I'm like, wow, that might be why. So the little time I did have with him, from probably elementary on up to high school, I do appreciate that, because I know there are people that never have met their dads. I know people that never had their dads in their lives, or, you know, what they know about their dads is alcoholism, beatings. And so I am thankful to God that my dad, you know, I say this, I feel like parents do the best that they can. Not everyone. And don't get me wrong, I know there's some parents that are just cruel. They didn't want the child. It was a mistake, you know, and, you know, probably didn't live a sober day around you, right? But based on what they went through, I know my dad lost 2 brothers before I was born. I never met my uncles and his dad. And he basically lived with my grandmother. And, you know, she couldn't drive. After him and my mom got married, I think they were together for a while. They traveled. That's probably why I like traveling so much. And, you know, after I was born, 3 years after that, he was out the picture. They were civil. I thank God for my mom never dissing my dad, allowing me to talk to him, calling him on his behalf so I could talk to him. And, you know, when you're young, you really don't realize things. You know, I didn't understand really 2-parent households. I know my friends had, you know, their dads and their mothers in the same house, but that wasn't my truth. That wasn't my existence. So, you know, when I go to dad, he's not the disciplinary. He's the one that, you know, I get to go play video games and basketball. I get to go to the gym. I get to go to summer camp. And, you know, I get to just experience things like that, right? So that's another preface, right? I'm going to get straight into it now. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background from the person that's talking to you, because I probably do have a bias. I say I like to talk in true statements, but I just want to let you know probably where some of that bias is coming from. My first point, I have 5. I'll read all 5, so if you don't care for some of the points, you can skip through, and I'll try to put it, depending on how my editing skills are, or if this is on YouTube, I'll try to put timestamps to the things that apply to you. But all of it's pretty good, and some of it kind of escalates into other things, so I appreciate if you watch the whole thing if you have the time. My point 1 is going to be, these are all sayings that I have, right? I talk long time with friends and family, and we really get deep and discuss things. So, you know, I'm high level, but I really get really deep, spiritual, you know, if you want to say that, into each subject matter. Number 1 is you're only good as your next best alternative. And I have a cliff note that says decision making, you know, how to make decisions. Number 2, people are going to do what's best for them, their household, their livelihood. In that order. How to read people is my cliff note for that one. Number 3, you can't buy loyalty. Cliff note for that one is how to trust people. It's an interesting one. Number 4, comfort is a cancer. I'll say that one again. Being comfortable, falling in love with comfortability is a cancer. That one is learning from fear. And then the 5th one, which is very prevalent in my life right now, wisdom through pain. Don't miss the message, right? So I don't want you to watch this forever. I respect your time. Thank you for respecting mine and deeming me fit to even listen to. So I'll just get into the first one. This is every day. This applies to everyone. This is how I learned how to make difficult decisions, how to identify value, and they're one and the same. I don't believe you can make good, difficult decisions without lining things up and determining each one's value to you. And so I'm not here to tell you how to make decisions in your life. I am here to say some decisions are easier than others, and I am here to say, based on what I know about the human experience, at some point you will have to make a difficult decision. And this is just a lesson, again, not that I was taught, but just through wisdom. I'm a lot older than I look, but know that I have lived life and I've been through life for sure. You're only good as your next best alternative, to me, means this. Simply put, you have a job, say you're getting paid $100,000, right? Currently in Texas, they call this a right to work state, which basically means you should be glad you got a job. Don't come test us, don't sue us. You know, it's your right to work. It's not our right to hire you. It's your right to work, even though, you know, you need money in this society that we live in the United States. Let's say you have children and you have a family that you need to provide for. Let's say that, hey man, this is your dream job, right? If you're not at this job, then you know you're probably not qualified to make this much money at your next best. And so you determine what your next best is, right? You might be on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or whatever that is, right? But you know that your last job, you probably never made more than 30 or 40,000, right? So your next best alternative might be going down $60,000 to $70,000. I told you we're getting the finances. I know that's very important to a lot of men in providing. So I would not stray away from the money topic. Let's say, you know, your boss tells you to do something that you know is not right, to cover for him. Let's say that you know your boss has the power of the pen and everybody trusts him, but he came to you to make the decision because he didn't want to make it and he wanted to cover his tracks. Now, you have a decision to make. You can blow the whistle, you can do the right thing, and you know, if your boss threatens you and say, hey, if you don't do this, you'll be fired, you know that, you know, if you get fired or laid off from this job, you might end up going back to $30,000, $40,000 a year. And though you want to be noble, you have a family, kids, a wife that you've been providing for. Maybe you just bought the new car, the house, or you're still paying on that trip that y'all been wanting to go to forever. You have a decision to make, right? You have a decision to be noble, or you have a decision to do what needs to be done. And I think as men, I won't say females don't understand. I'll say this, I cannot understand the female experience better than a female. And I would say that women cannot understand the male plight better than a man. And that's why I'm saying I'm speaking to men. But again, if you're the breadwinner, if you're the person that's supposed to hold down your household, let's say your wife doesn't make that much, or let's say, hey, I'm making $100,000 now, so you stay home, you raise these kids, maybe you want to homeschool them, maybe you just want to keep the kids safe. Maybe you just got into a safe neighborhood and you just got out the ghetto. You have your morality versus the security, financial safety of your family, And so as a man, sometimes you might have to make decisions that go against your morals in order to sustain and protect this other commitment that you gave your family. That is, you're only good as your next best alternative. I feel that the only way to combat this and being put in these tight predicaments by people, because another thing I would say is people make life hard, right? Is to live life and maneuver life in a way to where, your worst case scenario is not your next best alternative, if that makes sense. That means starting a side hustle, starting a business, getting, another piece of paper, a degree, raising, and this is a word that I'll say a lot, value. Raising your value would make it to where, hey, I'm making $100,000 here, but hey, if I go do this over here, I might make $60,000, and then I got this business I've been working on for 5 years. It can make me another $20,000. So I probably will only go down $20,000. And now you're, hey, do I do this thing that could probably come back on me, but I'll be in my boss's good graces for this $100,000? Or do I tell him to kick rocks because I know I can go make this 60 and this 20 over here? Can my family survive with $20,000 less? And so it's not so much that people make bad decisions. It is that some people, when they're pinned against a wall, it has spikes in it, and it's sticking them and it's hurting them to be pushed up against their wall, and they can die and bleed out. Another thing I do is I make extreme exaggerations to prove a point. While the other person, they're being pushed up against a wall. Back is not even touching the wall. Somebody's just in their face like this, and it doesn't really hurt them. So, okay, you keep saying what you want to say. You got me pushed up against the wall, but anytime I feel like it, I got a knife behind my back, and I can, stop you from having me against their wall. So as we age and as we live as men, we should be looking to elevate, right? And not just financial, spiritual decisions. I say next to the God you serve, the woman you choose as your helpmate, wife, baby mama. People live their lives different out here, but that's the next most important decision that you make in your life, because that's the person you really choosing to do life with forever, you know. And that person can go to war with you, or that person can be your enemy every day in the flesh. And so as you make that decision, men, we all understand there's beauty. We understand there's, you know, some people get married for finances. Some people get married for, you know, sexual favors. Some men get married, like I said, she looks good, she's intelligent, or, you know, I want to move up in life, or, you know, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, another word I say a lot is balance. You know, don't commit yourself for one thing. Have multiple things. You know, if you like the way she look, if she's spiritual, can she pray for you? If she's spiritual, is she just gonna sit around every day and not make any money and want you to do everything? If she's got a lot of money, um, you know, loyalty, right? That's not even one of my things, but information and loyalty is something I'll probably speak on later. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. As you make decisions, as you're only good as your next best alternative, try to make decisions balanced as possible. And that's with logic. You know, as men, we're supposed to have more logic than women. They're supposed to be more emotional. You know, don't let one thing govern your decision-making process, right? And I'll end with that one. And I'll probably speak on that more. A lot of these are sayings I have, and I spoke to friends 2, 3, 4 hours on the phone about this very thing when it comes down to a decision. And you can apply that to anything in your life. You're only good as your next best alternative. What is your next best alternative? And being honest with yourself, which is something else I want to speak on, but it's only so much time. But being honest with yourself is a very big thing. And that's just accountability. Number 2, people are going to do what's best for them first, their household second, their livelihood third. How do I know? Experience. Without calling any names. If a man's household came before them, there would be no cheating. If a man's livelihood came, when I say livelihood, I mean really family, or just the household, you know. That household's livelihood, whether it's just him or if he has a family, if that came before his household, you wouldn't have people scamming at their job and people needing whistleblowers, right? A person is going to do what's best for them first, as they should, and then their household. So if their household can come up and their job tanks, they're going to do that. And then their livelihood, how they make their money. And that's going to be over what they say they believe in, their friends, their family, everything else. As they should. So when you get into a situation to where, and the tagline of this is how to read people, that's my brother, that's my aunt, my sister, my pastor, man, they did me wrong. They took advantage of me. How dare them? I can't trust anybody anymore. I haven't been trustworthy my whole life. I did not marry the first girl that I met. Expect people to do what's best for them, their household, and their livelihood, even if it double crosses you. Now, you may say, I am the type of person, I give everybody a chance first. I see the best in everybody. It's this third eye that I have. You may have that gift, but you need to understand how to proceed with life. And then you might say, well, hey, that's selfish. You telling me to become them. You telling me to put myself first, and my household first, and my livelihood first. I'm telling you to expect others to do that. We can get in a position to where we love men, emotion, and you let your emotion take over your logic. I just heard something that said, let your logic be the engine and let your emotion be the caboose that follows and trails your logic. This is to the men. I cannot speak to women. I don't know how your estrogen and everything is built. But I can say this. You doing that you will cause a lot of hard times to bypass you reading people and understanding who they are and understanding this truth that if you can make $100,000 and another person can make $100,000 and you already got more money than them, they are gonna try to finesse a situation to where they get the $100,000 before you, or in order for you to get that $100,000, you gotta entrust them with half of it. This is because sometimes people will see you more blessed than them, and they feel that, oh, this is a strong word. It's another thing I would say in another time. Deserve is a strong word. Deserve is this word that is self-proclaiming. What do you really deserve? What do I really deserve? If no man is free of sin, and then you get into atonement, and then you get into religion, which I'm not getting into today, but understand that if you only see the best in people, people will take advantage of you. Once people take advantage of you, do not go crying that people took advantage of you. Ask the questions. Be sincere with yourself. Intuitions that you get, sometimes you gotta look a person in the eye and ask them a question. And sometimes you know the vibes. Sometimes, like I said, I don't try to do a lot of discernment. I like to ask 2 + 2. I like to ask a lot of yes or no, true or false questions, because I'm really looking at your face, your mannerisms, because that first thing, it may not come out the mouth, but it always is here. I always say, what's in the heart goes to the mind and then comes out the mouth, which means everything starts in the heart first. But sometimes by the time it exits the mouth, because this mind will say, man, I'm poor. This mind will say, hey, have more money than me, they're more blessed than me, they don't know my struggle. So I'm gonna tell them this because I don't want to disappoint them, lose them as a friend, let them know that, I've been skimming something off the top, that I don't really trust them, that I don't really want their well-being, that I'm only their friend to move up in life. And so I always look for transparency in every relationship, business, spiritual, just going forward. And you listen to how people treat other people as well. And you don't lie to yourself. See, every form of accountability is not you trusting you and you being faithful to you. Sometimes it's being faithful to the inner you, understanding what you might not know, whether you want to call that intuition or whatever, but you can lie to yourself about another person, and you can make the excuse that it's love, It's, I need this connection. It's, you know, hey, that's a spiritual person. That person has done something for me before. That person has not lied to me before. This person will still do what's best for them first, their household, and their livelihood, their finances, before you, if put in, again, this back against the wall, certain type of predicament and position in life. All right, number 3. This is self-explanatory. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time on this, but just understand that this is a 100% true statement. This is through businesses that I've had. This is a tough lesson. Understand this. You can't buy loyalty. You just can't buy loyalty. My tagline for this is how to trust people. Trust is this verb. You can't trust someone. A trustworthy person is just that. A person that can be trusted. If a person can't be trusted, you can't trust them. You physically cannot turn someone into a trustworthy person. Some things only God, the Creator, the spirit world, Mother Nature, Father Time, whatever you say, whatever you believe in, only the spirit world can impact the spiritual. You may make a song, you may give a speech, you may show loyalty beyond this world, and you might say, I did that. I showed them how to be an honest, trustworthy person. I've been such a great friend or brother to them that now they have the ideal example of how to be a trustworthy person. You might try to say, I've prayed for this person to be trustworthy in the spiritual. Everything has its time. And just know that sometimes, though we may be a mechanism for the spirit world, for the Creator, we are not the Creator. And we physically, as human beings, cannot touch a spirit. We can lead people into thought. We can lead people into research. We can put people in predicaments. We cannot touch that heart that makes a person become better. We can only be a catalyst. And if you think you can, you will learn a hard lesson through the spirit world. That is all. You can't buy loyalty. You can't hire loyalty. A trustworthy person is just that. The only thing you can do is discern through conversation, through habits, through hard times and back against the wall, who a person really is, through your own discernment. Number 4, comfort is a cancer. Comfortability. Women might like this. They're deadbeat, they're lazy, always on the game, no providing, don't want to move up in his career, satisfied where he is, eating up all your food. You know, for men as well. You know, men, you know, you got that homeboy that's always borrowing money from you. He's got half your stuff at his house. Every time there's a problem, he comes to you. He overspends every month and does not see it as, or your loan to him as, you know, you're funding his lifestyle, right? He'll get it back to you with boys. Remember, I came through for you. That person. Now, if you are that person, understand this comes from comfort, and comfort is breeded through fear. And though it's around Halloween time, I'm not talking about spooky, boo, ghosts, goblins. Fear is the unknown. Understand that fear is the unknown. The unknown. If you don't know it, you fear it. Once you've conquered it, you no longer have a fear of it. Getting punched in the face. It might be a bully. If a child or a kid is here watching, it might be a bully. He might be big. He might be strong, right? He might talk about all these nasty, bad things he's going to do to you if he doesn't get his desired result, if you don't do what he says. You fear that bully because you don't know how hard that punch might be. You don't know how embarrassed you'll be if you get beat up in front of everybody. Let me tell you something. Get hit in the jaw. You'll know what getting hit in the jaw feels like. One, it'll hurt so bad that you want to inflict some pain afterwards. Or two, it didn't hurt that much. That wasn't that bad at all. I could do this. I'll just, take that chin check or whatever that punishment that person gave you is. Or three, there's really only one or two. I won't even make a third thing. You will no longer fear getting hit in the chin. Now, it will not be a desired result of yours, but you won't be up at night thinking, I can't do that because I don't know the impact of this punishment. Once you know the impact of the punishments, remember that value? Do you value your lunch tray? Do you value your lunch money more than the pain that chin check caused? Because you might value eating more than this pain, or you might say, hey, this pain hurts so much, I don't even have to eat. But that goes back up to number one, you're only good as your next best alternative. So this pain or give up my lunch? You're going to weigh the value of those things and you're going to make a decision. You're going to keep giving your lunch away, or, okay, I'm just getting hit one time, boom. At least I'm going to eat my lunch today. And it's only so long that you go through the same thing, and I think the spirit world does teach us lessons through pain, and that's the last one. That you get to a point to where you're tired of experiencing the same type of pain because, again, accountability, the honesty within yourself. I could fight back. I could do something about it. I could set a trap. I can get some other people to help me combat this bully. And though this is a child experience example, it applies to bullies at the job, financial bullies that want to put you down, maybe the opposite sex, maybe somebody keeps cheating on you, maybe, though I don't condone suicide, suicide is always an option. So there's always an option. You can live through it, or you can say, I don't want to even live anymore. Those are always two options, but there are always more than two options. They're seeking help, they're standing up for yourself. Getting back to comfortability, getting hit in the jaw every day to eat your food that you paid for it's much like someone not applying themselves on trying to make more money, even though inflation is going up and expenses are going up and you're living with somebody that's trying to pull the load. So usually I would talk to the person that is trying to pull the load. But this time I'm talking to the deadbeat, the person that just has this comfortability, complacency. I'm fine where I'm at. I don't need to grow. Only thing certain is change. So if everything is changing around you and you're sitting and maintaining, everything is passing you up. It's like inflation. And you can look at it like this world is inflation. And though we can live outside and live off the land and pick berries, at least in the United States, I guess the homeless are doing that. But, there's a lot going on. It's not safe out here. And especially if you have a family, a significant other, and I'm talking to the men, man, you want them to be safe. You want them to have things. You want them to experience better than you. But you can't do that being comfortable and complacent. Now, I just talked about the deadbeat on the couch playing video games. It doesn't just apply to this one, man. This man is not the only one that can get complacent. You can get to 40,000 and think it's enough. You can get to 60,000, you can get to 100,000 and think that's enough. You can become a VP. Again, I can't tell you what the Creator's put on your heart. If you're supposed to start a business, if you're supposed to come outside and speak all of these truths that you have learned to the masses. See, everything isn't money, everything isn't relationship, everything is not what you want it to be, and you look good to your family, and you have the big house and everything, everybody comes over for Christmas and Thanksgiving and pretty much worshiping you because you're feeding everybody and you loan people money. That might not be the end of your story. Maybe you're supposed to do mission trips in Africa. What's on your heart? Another thing I'll probably have in the future is, where do ideas come from? That's a big spiritual thing. Another thing is fate versus free will. These are very deep things that I'm not going to cover here. I limited to 5, but you can think about those things. But honesty with self is knowing what you feel, knowing what's been heavy on your heart, the little things you see, the numbers. I see a lot of 919. 9 is the end, 1 is the beginning, 9 is the end again. 111, the beginning of everything. 999, everything's about to end. And you just, 444 is the angel numbers. You got your grandmother, your dad watching over you. Hey, I'm watching you. I'm with you through this. At the very moment that you were feeling down on yourself, look at signs. Spirituality. Don't think of things as coincidence. Follow it. Be honest with yourself. Accept the things that is just too much to be a coincidence. And always grow. Always try. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe this will be a first and last. Maybe I'll end up with 100 episodes. Maybe people will get saved. Maybe somebody will come in and, man, you really helped me. I was thinking about that. I found your thing at the right time. I found the right video. I skipped through it and I found the right moment. And this is because I did not lay on that couch and I got up and I got this phone and I got this mic pack and I wrote down what I've been thinking and I just started talking. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. But, if you try and fail, what is it? But if you try and that was your calling, people always say, what's my calling? What are you doing? What do you like? What are your talents? Some people can sing, some people can build, some people can flip, some people, can swim. Where did you get your talent? Now, we can't hone in on talents, but try. It's like a child. I heard good parents say that they're good parents because they put their child in a lot of different things. And if they don't like it, or at least they know that it exists. Went to a Kirk Franklin concert. He had a foster mom, and she gave him, or paid with, I guess, reselling cans and, plastic or whatever it was, piano lessons. And he said that she never heard one of his songs ever. and he's selling out arenas. And if she never took him in as a foster child and gave him piano lessons, would he be the great producer that he is today? And you know, sometimes it just takes one person. You know, maybe it's not you. Everybody wants to be the, oh, I did that and I changed the world. Maybe you're just the spark that lights another fire to be great. And maybe you don't even live to see that change that you enacted. But one thing for sure, doing nothing will always birth nothing. And doing something, even if you fail, you'll know what not to do. And so you're one step closer to your mission and your goal. Just recently had a long conversation with my mom, and that was gonna be this YouTube channel's name. But I'll just make it a series or something, a mission and a number. And she said everybody is tasked with a mission from the Creator, and everybody has a day that they gotta die and get up out of here. And you know, this is within a conversation, like I said, this is not about me. I want to make this about everybody else. I'm selfless that way. I suffer in silence. That might be wrong, but you know, thank God I still have my mom here and I can go to my mom. And a part of me doing this was, man, some people don't have a mom or a dad or a grandmother or any type of confidant that they can trust. And I want to be a change, you know, that I could see certain people needing, certain people I would never meet. I feel like a lot of men did not have things passed down like me, and I just want to share some of the lifelong lessons and to let you all know I have been in the Bible, I have been in church. I am very spiritual. I do pray, I do believe in prayer. You know, all of this is not just, oh, I saw that and this is what I came up with. This is a mixture of all the elements of life for me to come up with all of these things. So comfort is a cancer. Get off the couch, come outside, film yourself, start that YouTube series, speak your truth, you know, in real time as I'm doing this. And this is not it. This is not the only thing that I feel like I've been commissioned to do, but let me try it. If it gets 0 views, it got 0 views. If it blows up and, you know, I'm supposed to write a book and speak, it all started from me getting up off that couch today. Learning from your fear was the tagline. You don't know what's about to happen. That doesn't mean stay comfortable and not do it. Number 5, and I appreciate y'all for watching this through. Wisdom through pain. Don't miss the message. I do make music, not under the name Lawrence. I might share it with you one day. But wisdom through pain. I am currently at this very second moment, hour, going through a crisis, a life-changing type of crisis. It can go up, it can go down. I will know soon, you know, hopefully I have a praise report for you guys and a way through. Going back to number 1, how I'm making the decision. Number 2, understanding that especially, you know, when you get customer service reps and people to work for other companies, you know, they may see your pain, they may know you're right. They're gonna read that script. Why? Because they need to fund their household. Loyalty. You can't buy loyalty, but money is very persuasive. And we will soon see. Comfort is a cancer. Through all of this pain, I always seek to see what God wants me to see. What could I not have seen if this did not happen? I definitely would not be out here right now if that situation didn't happen. wouldn't even physically be possible, wouldn't be at this exact location. So when things happen that are painful, uncomfortable, don't curse God, don't give the devil too much credit. What is the message that you need to hear? What is this stopping you from doing? What is the next idea? What was your next best alternative? What did you do with that time, within that pain? What did you learn? Are you supposed to apply that to another situation in your life? Are you supposed to tell somebody else? Ask yourself, what do you need to do? Not why God did it, not blaming the devil, not siding with the devil even. What are you supposed to do? Again, this is intuition. I can't teach intuition. You can't teach me intuition. Where do ideas come from? Where does intuition come from? Where does your heartbeat, where does your breath come from, right? And so this is a spiritual thing, and I'm not going to ask you to give your life over to God or any of that type of stuff. You know what you need to do. You see signs. There are people you know. There are people you mimic. This is going back to the child. It's another thing I say. What you think is cool becomes you, right? So if a white girl likes rap, or black guys and they want to get into that, or you got played by too many females and now you want to be gay, or whatever it is, where does your pain come from? What got you to the situation that you're currently in? Accountability. All 5 of these things. Accountability. What did you do to get you here? There's always something you could have done instead of what you did to get you here. Now, it may not be your fault. Somebody else may have did something or something else to get you to where you are. But how did you get yourself to that circumstance to where that person had access to you? Why does that person know you exist? Why are you around that person at that point in time in life? Why did you make that business decision? Why did you spiritually believe that person? The people that let us down, the jobs that let us down, the decisions that we made that led up to them letting us down is what we need to be concerned with. That's where I feel the wisdom comes from. The wisdom is within. Everything is within. I can't teach it. I wish I had a dad that spent enough time with me to actually sit me down, look me in my eye, and tell me spiritual things like this. If you don't have it, if you have it and don't heed, if you got your parents, tap into them. You know, people that hate their parents. If that person said they made a change, it's nothing to get on the phone with them. You be the discerner of that. Forgiveness, that's another big one. Could go on hours about that. Be the best you can today. You worrying about the future is fear. You blaming everything on the past is an excuse. I'll say that one more time. You not doing something because you don't know what the future holds is fear. People that are not here, even that have passed and went on to be with God, you saying you are doing things because of that alcoholic, because you grew up on the street, because you didn't have the wisdom to all of this is an excuse. Every day we wake up, just like today. This is not the first day I had the idea to do this. Actually, I did another one. I don't think I ever posted it. I didn't even follow through. That could be another I can speak on it, follow through, get it done. Get it done today. Don't waste any time. You got the breath, you got arms, legs. Even if you're disabled, what can you do? You can get on YouTube and you can affect other people that are ADA or disabled life by showing your daily routine. Oh, I didn't know you could brush your teeth like that. I didn't know this thing was accessible for handicapped people. Even handicapped people can change another person's life. The stillborn baby affected at least 2 parents' lives. You gotta understand, you gotta be the change that you want to see. And I appreciate you all listening. Things Daddy never taught me. Episode 1, you're only good as your next best alternative. So try to up your value to where your next best alternative is not your worst case scenario. People are gonna do what's best for them. So you believe in yourself more than you believe in other people. I don't care if that's your mom, your dad, your pastor, somebody that you look to for spiritual guidance, your counselor. Anybody pushed up against the wall hard enough is going to have their livelihood and their best interest at the forefront before yours, no matter how much you think they love you. You can't buy loyalty. Be a better discerner of people that are trustworthy and spend more time identifying trustworthy people than understanding someone is untrustworthy and trying to change them. Comfort is a cancer. That fear that you have, get over it. That person that tells you that you need to be in fear, prove them wrong. Keep pushing no matter what. Wisdom through pain. Every time you have a painful moment, I don't want to say the word silver lining. I just want to say your pain is in vain if you do not look for the message. I'm not saying you're going to get a message every time there's pain. I just say look for it. I appreciate you all for listening. I was supposed to start with this, but this is my daily prayer ever since I got laid off in 2016, and it's grown. And there are 12 things that I pray for, and before that I have another thing that I pray for, and I always pray for my friends, family, and loved ones in this prayer. And I do this every morning and at night, and times where I'm very spiritual, but it goes like this. If you want to pray with me, you can. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, forgive me for sins known and unknown. Protect me from danger seen and unseen. Heal me from sicknesses, diseases, and ailments, discovered and undiscovered. Lord, please provide to me the wisdom, knowledge, discernment, application, articulation, influence, grace, mercy, favor, which is very big, patience, humility, and balance required to achieve the desires of my heart and soul. And let those desires be in line with your perfect will for me in this life and all others after. And Lord, please do the same for my family, friends, and loved ones. I love you. Amen.